They tell you power is loud. They tell you strength demands a reaction. But the most dangerous man in the room is always the quiet one. Most confrontations are not about truth. They are about control. Someone wants to shake you, move you, expose you. This chapter is about the first awakening, the moment you realize that reacting is the fastest way to lose power, and silence is where real strength begins. Think about the last time someone challenged you. Maybe they raised their voice. Maybe they disrespected you in front of others. Maybe they questioned your value, your intelligence, or your place. In that moment, something happened inside you. Your chest tightened. Your thoughts rushed forward. Your ego stood up and demanded a response. This is where most men fall. They speak too fast. They explain too much. They defend themselves as if their worth is on trial. Machiavelli understood something most people never learn. The moment you rush to prove yourself, you give your power away. Power does not live in noise. It lives in control. When someone confronts you, they are not just testing your words, they are testing your center. They want to see if they can pull you out of yourself. If they can make you angry, they win. If they can make you nervous, they win. If they can make you talk when silence would be stronger, they win. Most people confuse silence with weakness, but silence is not emptiness. Silence is pressure. When you do not react, the other person feels exposed. They expect resistance. They expect emotion. And when it does not come, something inside them cracks. They start to fill the space. They speak more. They reveal more. You learn who they are while they learn nothing about you. Look at history. The most powerful figures were never the loudest voices in the room. The general did not scream like the soldier. The judge did not argue like the criminal. Authority never begs to be heard. Machiavelli wrote about power as perception, not what you feel, but what others believe you are capable of. When you remain calm during confrontation, you become unreadable, and unreadable men are feared. Think about two men standing face to face. One is explaining himself, voice tight, hands moving, energy scattered. The other is still, eyes steady, breathing slow. Who looks in control? The quiet man does not need to dominate the moment. He dominates the frame. Silence tells the other person something without words. You do not control me. And that message hits deeper than any insult. Most people talk because they are afraid of being misunderstood. But the truth is harsh. Being understood is not power. Being respected is. And respect comes from restraint. This is the first lesson Machiavelli would give you today. Never reveal your inner storm during confrontation. Your emotions are information. When you show them, you hand your opponent a map. Anger tells them where to push. Fear tells them where to press. Pride tells them where you are weakest, so you learn to pause. You learn to breathe before you speak. You learn that not every challenge deserves an answer. You learn that sometimes the strongest move is to say nothing at all. This does not mean you are passive. It means you are choosing when to act. There is a difference. Reacting is automatic. Responding is deliberate. And power lives in what is deliberate. When you stop reacting, confrontations change. People soften their tone. They rethink their words. Some even retreat, not because you threatened them, but because you did not give them what they wanted. Chaos feeds on reaction. Control feeds on calm. This awakening is uncomfortable at first. Your ego will scream. It will tell you to speak, to correct, to defend. But every time you resist that urge, you become stronger. You begin to realize something dangerous. You do not need to win every moment to win the war. The man who stays centered cannot be shaken, and the man who cannot be shaken cannot be broken. This is where unbreakability begins, not with dominance, not with aggression, but with silence that carries weight. Power is not loud. It does not rush. It does not beg to be seen. When you learn to hold your ground without words, people feel it. They sense it, and slowly they stop trying to move you. The first step to becoming unbreakable is learning to stop reacting. Silence is not weakness, it is restraint. When you remain calm in confrontation, you deny others control over you. Power begins the moment you choose composure over impulse. By now, you've seen it clearly. Silence changes the balance. But silence alone is not enough, because the real battlefield of confrontation is not outside you. It is inside. Every serious confrontation is designed to touch something emotional. Anger, fear, pride, shame. No one attacks your logic first. They attack your feelings. They question your value. They doubt your ability. They provoke you just enough to make you feel small or disrespected or challenged. And the moment you feel that heat rising in your chest, the trap is already set. Machiavelli understood this with brutal clarity. He knew that emotions are not harmless reactions. They are tools used by others to move you where they want. When someone can control how you feel, they no longer need to control what you do. Your emotions will do it for them. Think about anger. Anger feels powerful. It feels strong. But anger narrows your vision. When you are angry, you stop seeing options. You stop listening. You speak before thinking. And that is exactly why people try to provoke it. They want you loud. They want you careless. They want you exposed. Fear works the same way. Fear makes you rush. It makes you explain yourself. It makes you seek approval. A man driven by fear will always try to protect his image instead of his position. Then there is pride, the most dangerous emotion of all. Pride tells you that you must respond. That silence looks weak. That walking away looks like defeat. But pride is easy to manipulate. History is full of men who lost everything because their pride was touched. Kings started wars over insults. Leaders destroyed alliances because they felt disrespected. Machiavelli saw this pattern again and again. Those who ruled with emotion ruled briefly. Those who ruled with discipline survived. Here is the truth most people don't want to hear. People will push your emotions on purpose. They will interrupt you. They will mock you. They will challenge you in front of others. Not because they want truth, but because they want control. They are watching closely. How fast do you react? How hard do you push back? How easy are you to shake? Every emotional reaction gives them data. When you get defensive, they know where you are insecure. When you get angry, they know where you are fragile. When you over-explain, they know you need validation. This is why emotional control is not about being cold. It is about being protected. A man who cannot control his inner world is always fighting from a weak position, because his opponent does not need to defeat him. They only need to trigger him. The unbreakable man understands this and makes a quiet decision. He stops taking words personally. He listens without absorbing. He observes without reacting. He understands that most attacks are not about truth. They are about pressure, and pressure only works if you let it in. This does not mean you feel nothing. It means you feel, but you do not show. Machiavelli warned that revealing emotion during conflict is like opening the gates of your city. Once they are open, anyone can enter. So you learn to seal them. You breathe when insulted. You pause when provoked. You stay grounded when challenged. Not because you are weak, but because you are strategic. When people realize they cannot read you, they become uneasy. They expect resistance. They expect emotion. And when they don't get it, their own emotions rise. They become impatient. They become sloppy. They reveal their intentions, and now the power shifts. You are no longer inside the confrontation. You are above it. This is the descent. The moment you realize how often emotions have been used against you, how many arguments you lost before they even began, how many times you were moved without knowing it. It is uncomfortable, but it is freeing. Because once you see it, you cannot unsee it, and from this point on, You choose discipline over impulse, awareness over reaction, control over chaos. Emotions are natural, but showing them in confrontation is optional. When you guard your inner world, you guard your power. And when no one can reach inside you, no one can move you. Emotions are not weaknesses, but displaying them in confrontation is. Anger, fear, and pride are often used as tools to control you. When you master your emotional reactions, you become unpredictable and unreadable. The man who controls his inner world cannot be controlled by anyone else. By now, you've seen the battlefield. You've seen how silence holds power. You've seen how emotions can be used against you. Now comes the final step, the mastery. The moment where awareness and discipline turn into real authority. The unbreakable man does not fight every battle. He does not seek to be heard or to prove himself. He seeks only to control the outcome, and control begins with himself. The first rule of mastery is intention. Every action, every word, every pause must have purpose. Nothing is wasted. Nothing is reactive. When someone confronts you, they expect chaos. They expect a reaction. They expect you to reveal weakness, and when you refuse, the energy in the room shifts. Silence becomes a weapon. Observation becomes intelligence. You learn to watch the subtle movements, the flicker in an eye, the twitch of a hand, the hesitation in a voice. These small cracks reveal more than words ever could. They show motives. They show fear. They show opportunity. Mastery is about presence. It is about posture. It is about being fully aware of yourself, even when the other person is trying to drag you into the storm. The man who dominates a confrontation does not shout. He does not interrupt. He does not argue for victory. He stands. He breathes. He moves only when necessary. Every word he speaks is precise. Every sentence is weighted with meaning. There is no filler, no over-explaining, no chasing validation. Because chasing validation is the fastest way to surrender control. Machiavelli observed this centuries ago. The man who seeks approval in confrontation gives his enemies the upper hand. The second rule of mastery is calm. Calm is a signal. It signals strength. It signals authority. It signals that nothing in the room can touch you unless you allow it, and people notice. They instinctively mirror it. Their voices soften. Their movements slow. Their attacks lose energy. You are not just participating in the confrontation. You are guiding it. You are creating the conditions where their energy works for you, not against you. The third rule is timing. Never speak too soon. Never move too fast. Let the other person reveal themselves first. The quiet man sees the entire board. He knows which pieces will move and which will fall if he does nothing. Patience is strategy. Patience is dominance. Sometimes mastery is choosing when not to act. Let others believe they have won. Let them think they have shaken you. The reality is, you remain unshaken. You remain above the fray. And in that space, you gather power that no immediate reaction could ever give you. The unbreakable man understands one ultimate truth: confrontations are temporary, but reputation, perception, and authority last. To dominate the long game, he sacrifices short-term satisfaction for permanent strength. He does not need applause. He does not need to be liked. He only needs to be steady. He only needs to be deliberate. He only needs to be unbreakable. The mastery of confrontation is subtle. It is quiet. It is invisible to most, but it is unmistakable to those who face it. A calm, deliberate, unshakable presence commands more than words ever could. It tells the world, without a single shout, that this man cannot be moved, cannot be rattled, cannot be defeated. And that is the final lesson Machiavelli would give you. True power is not in the battle you win today. It is in the control you maintain tomorrow. When you master silence, emotion, and intention, confrontation becomes almost effortless. The loud, angry, desperate voices around you fade. They try and fail to penetrate the armor you have built. And in that quiet, commanding space, you stand alone, unshakable, untouchable, and entirely in control. Mastery is not about fighting. It is about presence, patience, and perception. The calmest man in the room is the one who controls everything without seeming to try. He does not react to chaos. He allows it to reveal its own weaknesses. And when he chooses to act, it is precise, deliberate, and unstoppable. This is the mark of true unbreakability. To remain unbreakable, you must master silence, emotion, and intention. Confrontation is not about loudness or winning the moment. It is about controlling the outcome. The calmest man in any room always owns it because he first owns himself. Discipline, patience, and awareness are the tools that turn confrontation into dominance. When mastered, these qualities make a man untouchable,